Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some first year of university tips. If you guys didn't know, I just finished my first year at the University of Toronto completely online, 13,000 kilometers away. But regardless of that, I just wanted to share any first year of university tips that apply to all universities. And these are also applicable to U of T specific stuff if you are also going to U of T. I do have another video talking about things that I wish I knew before going to U of T, so I'll link that up in the if you guys haven't seen that already. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the tips. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to establish an organization routine before your classes start. For me personally, the beginning of university was a little bit hectic because I was kind of overwhelmed with the fact that it was all online. This was all completely new for me. I just kind of wanted to jump into everything. So obviously there was Frosh week orientation. I was just trying to get to know people, and as soon as Frosh was finished, there was like sorority recruitment, and there was also classes starting, and there was really no time for me to kind of establish myself when classes started. So I feel like a couple of weeks before your classes start and your professors start to get in communication with you and start handing out your syllabuses, start organizing yourself. I have a whole video of me organizing myself in real time. I can also link that up in the eye if you guys want to see the kind of steps that I took, and you can take inspiration from that. I will be doing a whole video on my new organization system and how I'm going to be organizing myself for second year, so keep an eye out for that if you want some inspiration. And with that being said, this kind of just like popped into my head. Do not stress out. Some of your professors will give you your syllabi on like the day that you have the class. A lot of them don't give you stuff in advance. It is kind of annoying if you're trying to prepare yourself. Like I only got to prepare, I believe, 2 of my classes before they actually started, and then I got my syllabi like the day of for some of them, which is kind of annoying because some of them wanted us to prepare for the class, but that isn't the case for everybody. So just be prepared for when your professors slack off a little bit. My second tip is that at the end of every week, dedicate some time to kind of revise for your classes. So this could just be taking some time to look over your notes from class and then from your readings. Something that I did was I opened both my lecture notes and my reading notes, and then I kind of made a summary of the key points from both of them, because if there's information that is matching and overlapping from the lecture and from the readings, then it's something that's probably really important for you to know. So then I just had a whole summary sheet. So I took a combination of classes that are in the social sciences and in like the physical mathematical sciences and also languages. So I have study preparations for different types of subjects. For my social science classes, the classes that are more content based, during this time, this is when I would start working on my flashcards, because I kid you not, by midterms my flashcards would probably have about 150 or something terms on there, and if I prepared that before the midterm, I would be so overwhelmed. So every week, just adding the vocabulary that you learn and the key concepts into your flashcards progressively over time, rather than doing it all at once, was such a lifesaver. My third tip is to join clubs. For example, at U of T, there's this website, which I will try and find the link and put it in the description if I remember, and there's clubs for everything. There's literally so many clubs. Regardless of what university that you're at, there should be a club for you that you would be happy to be a part of. So I definitely recommend joining clubs because it's the easiest way for you to make friends. My next tip is to go to office hours as early as possible, and this could be for many reasons. The first reason is, for example, for me, office hours for my computer science class would take so long, especially when assignments were like getting close to due date. The lines would probably be like 100, 200 people, and you would just spend hours. The longest I've spent waiting to get attended to in office hours is 6 hours, just sitting on my computer waiting to get help. So try to get there as early as possible. I'm sure if things are in person, it probably won't be that extreme, but for example, I had to join the office hours line 12 hours before office hours actually started so that I could make it to like the top 5 when office hours opened up. It was that bad. Another reason that you should go to office hours early, especially if they're in person, is so that you can develop a relationship with your TA or professor. This is good because they can help you in the future if you need recommendation letters or also for networking. So for example, most TAs are probably PhD students, and if they are working on research and you have a good relationship with them, you could then work with them in their research, and then you have something to put on your resume, and then potentially eventually. It'll just help you in the future. So it'll just help you develop good relationships. My next tip is that if you are gonna take an online class, do it with your camera on. And I have a very good reason for this. I know that this coming year, U of T is gonna be doing kind of a hybrid situation where you can sign up for in-person classes and you can also have the option to take the class online. If you decide to take up a class that is gonna be online, or if your university hasn't opened up yet and it's still gonna be online, do the class with your camera on, and that is because it helps you keep accountable. Because you know that everybody in the Zoom is probably gonna see you, and you know that the professor is obviously gonna see you. You are gonna be more inclined to pay attention. All the times that I was in my online class and the camera was off, I was on my phone on TikTok, and I absolutely regretted that because those are the classes that I tended to struggle with around midterms. And then when I learned that I wasn't supposed to do that, I started doing my classes with my camera on, and then I ended up doing better for finals. This next tip is also for if you decide to take an online class. If the class says that the test, like your midterm or your final, is open book, please still study for it. Tests are gonna be easier if they're closed book because there's only so much that you can remember. And what happened for my personal experience is all the classes where the tests were open book, they made them harder because they know that you have access to the slides, you have access to recorded lectures, you have access to your notes, the textbook. So they're obviously not gonna have the tests the same as how they would have been previous years because everybody would be getting 90 plus. The questions are gonna make you think. You just need to study so that you know that you understand the concepts like the back of your hand, and then you're able to refer to your notes in order to like go deeper into a concept. But if you don't understand it, and if you don't even know where to find the concept in the notes in the textbook to begin with, the whole open book test is just gonna be a complete disaster for you. So for my next tip, this is something I emphasize in my things I wish I knew before going to U of T, and that is to reach out to as many people as possible. I know most universities have like a class of 25 for you guys, a class of 25 page on Instagram, and then you guys just send in pictures and say, I'm in this program, and DM me if you want to be friends. It kind of feels like a dating app. In the class of 24 Instagram page that we had, I basically reached out to everybody that I thought was cool, that I was in like a similar program in, or I had similar interests to, and not all of them are gonna work out. I feel like I reached out to close to like 100 people, and I'm not exaggerating. Some people didn't reply back, some people did, and then it kind of just died off. Just reach out to as many people. This is gonna help you make friends. And then also, again, as I mentioned with the office hours tip, this can help you with networking, not even just for like university and like your job, but even for your interests. Like I've met a lot of people who are in like the gymnastics industry, like they're also gymnasts, or they know people who are involved in gymnastics. I met people who are also doing YouTube who have more subscribers than me, who have less subscribers than me, who have the same amount of subscribers as me, and overall establishing good relationships with those people is gonna benefit me in the long run. I'm not saying make friends with people so you can use them. You're only gonna be able to benefit from networking with people if it's gonna be like a mutual interest in each other and a mutual benefit. My 8th tip is to make or join study groups. At U of T, there's a thing called an RSG, which stands for Recognized Study Group, and basically you can become a leader of a group, or you can become a member. If you're a leader, you don't have to know the concepts like you're the freaking professor. You're just the person who makes sure that you hold the meetings, and you get like a credit for that. That is gonna be really good for when you're applying for jobs and stuff like that. You also get the credit if you're in the group anyways. In general, if you host meetings like every single week, that's another way to keep accountable and making sure that you're staying on track of all of your classes. And also you can make friends, because your study groups could be people that you aren't friends with, and then you meet new people. I made really good friends with people in my psychology study group, and that was really fun. And also in my math study group before I dropped out of that class. This next one is something that I like hold near and dear to my heart as a tip that I have with such a passion. I didn't know if that sentence made any sense, but it's to be cautious when you're on online group chats. For example, if you join WhatsApp group chats, there are gonna be a bunch of bots, like a bunch of people on the group chats who are just gonna be sending things being like,
I can help you study for your test. I can write your online test for you. I can do your assignment. Message me for my rates.
Obviously, with my group, we were kind of trolling those people. Like sometimes somebody would send a message being like, oh, what are your rates? Like, you know, on TikTok there's a trend where people are like re-scamming scammers. We would do the same thing, but you just need to be cautious, because I would sometimes receive random WhatsApp phone calls from these bots, because if they're in the group chat they have access to your phone number. But with that being said, you need to be cautious, because there was a scandal where there was a university in Ontario where they had a group chat and somebody sent test answers on the group chat, and the group chat had 100+ people, and because you're in that group chat you could get in trouble, because nobody can tell if you actually use the answers for the test or not. And my last tip is to make the most out of the year. Even though I spent my entire first year of university in this bedroom, I feel like I did make the most of what I had. I went to a lot of online events, I joined clubs, I made friends with people, I ended up like Zooming and FaceTiming all of my new friends, and I feel very close to these people even though I've never seen them face to face. I really tried to make the most of everything. Going to events is something that you should do, even if they're online. A lot of people thought that events would be really bad because they were online, and I feel like that depends on wherever you go. Maybe they are bad, but from my personal experience they were actually really fun. And hopefully if everything is in person this year, which I really hope for you guys, because I wouldn't want you to go through a similar experience that I went through, because it wasn't optimal. But if it's in person, definitely make the most out of it. And I feel like we all know now to not take like school in person and like in-person connections with people for granted. So just make the most out of everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you found a tip that was helpful for you. Comment down below when you guys are starting up your university classes. I go back September 9th. And yeah, I really hope that this was somewhat helpful to at least one of you watching this video. And yeah, that is all from me. I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.